Greetings everyone, welcome to my contest entry for Jeff Kempin's 7700 contest. Jeff, before I jump into your questions, let me congratulate you for having surpassed 70 Spin Zone videos and 700 subscribers. I like your authenticity, your simplicity, and of course the great music that you show and the eloquent way that you talk about it. Simply put, it would be hard for me to imagine the VC without you. I'm happy to get this awesome opportunity to connect with you a little more. I wish you all the best and many years still to come in this community. Your first question is, which album did you anticipate its release and were disappointed with? I really wanted to avoid talking yet again about my favorite band in this video, and I hate to be negative, but for this question I have no choice but to tell you about my experience with one of the most recent Boston albums. When it was announced that Boston would release a brand new album in around 2000-2001, needless to say that my expectations were through the roof. Original singer Brad Delp was back in the project, so it was even more promising. I knew the exact release date, November 5, 2002, and I was literally counting the days. Then the day finally came, and my wife-to-be and I had even planned a special cracker and cheese menu to enjoy while listening to the new album, so we really made an event out of it. The new album was this one, Corporate America. The title track was released well in advance, but under the fake band's name Downer's Revenge, instead of Boston. It was a download success actually. And it's arguably the best song on the album. It's a ripping, powerful critique of the corporate world. Great song. I Had a Good Time is also very good, very light-hearted and closer to the traditional Boston sound. And You Gave Up on Love is another one of my favorites. But I had to admit that the album was not really up to par. The fourth track, for example, is called With You, and it's not a bad track at all. It's just that it's this acoustic country ballad sung by newcomer Kimberly Dammy. Feels totally out of place on a Boston album, in my humble opinion. Also, the tracks sung by Fran Cosmo are way darker than what I was expected. They are not bad, but do I want my Boston to sound like Oasis? I don't think so. And to top it off, I'm sorry, I do not want to offend the artist who came up with the cover art, but to me, it's just very lousy. So overall, yeah, I felt disappointed by this album. Granted, the good parts are really good, so it's maybe a 6 out of 10 album for me. But it contains one too many, how could I call them, WTF moments, production-wise. To end with a positive note on Boston from that era, I traveled from Montreal to Toronto in 2003 to see them on that tour, and I had such an amazing time. The show was just perfect and sensational. If you don't mind, I will skip question 2 for now, and I will answer to your third question right away. Where do you see your collection going in 2020? That is a very interesting question. I ponder it almost every day. Well, I'm getting closer to having a copy of all the key albums by my 20 favorite bands that I've been focusing on. I was way behind in the Queen department, but I covered all Queen studio albums in one shot when I got the band's box set last Christmas, so I'm very happy about that. So my plan is to slowly expand to another wave of favorite bands, a second tier if you want. although I do not intend to be as much a completist as I am with my top shelf favorites. I'm thinking about bands like Bad Company, Cheap Trick, Gentle Giant, Jimi Hendrix, Jethro Tull, King Crimson, Steely Dan, and Thin Lizzy, to name the most common ones. Also this year I think I will be a little more on the lookout for mo-fis and Japanese pressings. Luckily my record store always carries quite a few of them. Other than that, I will continue to pursue obscure AOR records as I always do, key classic rock records, some West Coast albums with legendary LA session players, records on the ECM label, some jazz from the 50s, good stuff like that. Also, I will continue to follow the current AOR/melodic rock scene, so chances are I will be tempted to buy a few albums in that category. Many of those are on the Italian Frontiers label. That should give you an idea of where I'm going to in this lifelong project. That brings me back to your question number 2. Tell us something about yourself that you've never revealed before in a video. Well, maybe I can start by telling you what I do for a living. I hold a diploma in translation from the University of Montreal, and I've been working as a translator from English to French for 22 years. In June, I'm going to celebrate 20 years of service at my current company. I love what I do. I have a permanent employee status and I can work from home most of the time, so I like it a lot. My job is not to be confused with the one of an interpreter who translates orally as it happens. To conclude, I have a couple of fun facts on yours truly. How about playing a little game? Here's my loyal butler, Henry, delivering me 3 cards. Thank you, Henry. 3 cards, each with a different statement. There will be 2 true statements and 1 false. Let me mix them up a little bit. You may use the comment section below to vote on which statement you think is false. And I will reveal which statement is false in my next video. Are you ready? Here we go. I smashed a guitar to pieces on stage in front of an audience. That's statement number 1. I smashed a guitar to pieces on stage in front of an audience. Statement number 2. I had an operation that changed the shape of my body forever. I had an operation that changed the shape of my body forever. Statement number 2. And statement number 3, I met Patrick Roy, who was the Montreal Canadiens goaltender. So statement number 3, I met Patrick Roy, who was the Montreal Canadiens goaltender. So there you go, this is statement number 1. Statement number 2. And statement number 3. There you have it, Jeff. I hope you enjoyed my little video that I put together in honor of your channel. Thank you everyone for watching. Take care, have a good one, and I'll talk to you soon.